Hello everyone, I am back with another video. I wanted to hop in here and show you guys what I had worked on this weekend. I had told you that I would come back and show you some ideas on what to do with the paper that was the scraps that were bigger, like this, kind of the bigger scraps. Mine were folded over already, but if yours weren't folded over, you could just fold them over. I had showed you what I did with the skinnier ones. I had made some like paper ruffles, and I'd sewed all those up, and then I showed you how to make the little mini envelopes, which I made all mine, and I went ahead and distressed them and glued them, and I've got them all ready. So I worked on the bigger scraps that I had, and I wanted to show you what I did. So I took them and folded them over if they weren't folded, and I just took some glue stick and I just went like around the edge real lightly because I was going to sew. Don't use wet glue or you'll gum up your machine. I just stressed around my whale tail tab. You can use any tabs that you want. I have some, I can reach in here. Uh-oh, I just knocked over my grandmother. You could use just regular tabs like this, you know, any print you want. If you don't have the whale tail, you could use those. But I just distressed around them and then just glued them on there. Now I will go back and distress around the whole journaling card when I'm done. And then I just sewed around it. And I went ahead and used a dark thread. I usually do not, actually I've never used the dark thread, but my mom had bought me some because I wanted to try it, see if I liked the, you know, the different thread, because usually I use a cream or a pink, and I actually liked it. There's some different ones that I did. So these are, depending on which way you put your tab, as you see here, you know, this would be the same. I just put my tab to the side because you could use it as a side tuck that way. I mean, it's the same size here. I just put my tab on the side instead of the top. So let's say you're, let me get one of my journals out here. And here's one of my paper ribbons. And so that's where I use it, just like at the side, and then I just tuck something in. Let's see if I have a paper. I don't think I have a paper bag in this one. Actually, I do not think, I do not have one. I don't have a side tuck in this one. Okay, so I was gonna say, if you had a side tuck, then like a paper bag, you could just put it in the paper bag this way. I like using these in paper bags. But any side tuck would work. I don't even have a side tuck in this. The way I've got this one set up. Well, that would work, I guess, as a side tuck. But still with that one, I would still do the top like that. Now these two here, let's see, this one and this one. These here are index cards. So I did one at the top and one at the side. This one is a blank one. This one has lines. So you can use your index cards and do the same thing as using your paper. And I like the feel, the texture of the paper. It's thinner, but it's doubled, so it's a little thicker, of course, because it's doubled. And I like the thinner in my journal. Because my journals, as you see, they get bulked up enough. And so I want the thinner stuff in there. I'm going to bulk it up enough putting stuff in there. And if you're decorating the front, you're going to bulk it up even more or make it more sturdy. You're going to make it thicker by collaging on it. So the paper being doubled like that is quite enough, if that makes sense. So there is one way of using your paper like that. Just any of your scraps, you know, just taking your bigger scraps and just folding them over. And if you see, some of these are just skinny because you're going to have skinnier pockets. So those, like here, if you used like a glassine bag, you're going to have a skinnier pocket, so that would fit in a glassine bag right there. So that would work for that. Get this out of the way. So that is what I did with those. And then I made some journaling cards. And I just took some, I had some ivory, because I use ivory cardstock. You see the difference, the ivory and then the white. I use ivory. I just now bought some white. I haven't had white cardstock in years. But you can't even tell from the front the difference. I use the antique linen, which I love, that distress oxide. But I used that to distress this because I wanted a more natural aging look. To age these or to distress them. And I just took some magazines and cut out some like different herbs and stuff, which is what these are. And I just sewed around them. I left my strings because I like my strings. You don't have to. And I just used a little bit of glue stick because I was going to sew. Do not use the wet glue because it'll gum up your machine. And then I just distressed around it. And then I like the sewing on the back. I actually did some straight stitch, which I never ever do because I can't straight stitch to save my soul, but I actually did do some. It is never straight, but yeah. So I did some of those. Those are easy, and I think they turned out really nice. They're nice and neutral for any journal. And you know, I do a lot of shabby chic journals, so I need neutral. I really liked them. I think they'll be, you know, good for any type of journal. And then the one thing that we're going to work on, actually before I show you that, I want to show you this book. I'm really excited about this book. So I've been looking for a vintage book to use for a journal I want to make, and Gina Makes It is a channel here on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of you know her, but if you don't, go follow her or go subscribe to her. She is awesome. I just discovered her a few months ago, and I've been binge watching her. I just absolutely love her style, but she did a journal using a vintage book cover, and I am obsessed with this journal she did. I just love her style, and it's totally different than like my shabby chic style, but I love her style. So anyway, I wanted to do a journal similar to what she had done, and I needed a vintage book cover, and I have some, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. And I found this book, and I've had it for a while. got rid of it, I don't know how many times. This book was headed to the dump. Someone had given my husband some things to take to the dump. And in the box, in his truck, there was a few things in there, and I seen some books, and I saved it. I was like, no, give me that. I will save that box. So I took it out of the truck and saved this book. And as I was going through it the other day, because, you know, it doesn't look like nothing appealing, but, and inside it, there's nothing that we would really want to use in our journals. I mean, there's nothing there. It's about arithmetic. But, I was looking through it, and the copyright is 1877. Guys, this book is 144 years old. 144 years old. I mean, so I started looking it up, and it's 144 years old, and they're all over the internet to buy. I guess they're not rare by no means, and they're not worth anything. They're not, but compared to the ones I've seen, mine's in really good condition. I mean, it's very sturdy. Papers are in really good condition. There's one that's torn right here. Other than that, and I mean, they're not even brittle. Like, they are in really good shape. But I'm going to use this one. My husband was like, why would you make that into a journal with it being that old? And I said, well, for one thing, it was going to the trash. Two, it's been sitting in my room for almost 2 years. And I wasn't going to do nothing with it. There's nothing I can do with it. I'm not ever going to look at it. If I give it away, like if I would donate it to the Goodwill, they will literally throw it in the trash. Our Goodwill here just throws books away. It's ridiculous. But anyway, they just throw books in the trash. So I'm going to recycle it and use it for a journal and give it a purpose. And yeah, and I do like the cover. I mean, as far as for a journal, I think it's really neat. It's got a lot of characteristics. That's not the word I'm looking for. What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. But because I got totally on a different thought when I went to tell you guys that when I was looking the book up, let me just go to this. When I was looking the book up, a lot did not have the eclectic series, and they did not have this at the bottom. So it would say, this would be blank up here, so it didn't have eclectic series, and then it had just one word right here, and I forget the word. So it was hard to find this exact copy, but when I finally found it, it still was only worth like $20. It wasn't worth, you know, a lot of money, which I was surprised being 144 years old, but it still wasn't worth anything. But I mean, even at that, it wouldn't really matter to me. To me, the value is in the book itself. I thought it was amazing that I have a book that's 144 years old. Like, that's just, I don't know. I'm in awe about that. But I'm going to make a journal for myself with this book. To me, that will be more special. More special? Is that right? Me having the book. You know, I have a journal, and I did a video a long, long time ago on the book that I made, or the journal that I made out of my book. And it's 47 years old. It was my childhood book. It was my favorite book. My Little Book of God, I think it is what it's called. It had all the illustrations by Eloise Wilkins. And it was the little golden book. And I just finished it recently because I didn't work on it for a while. And You know, that is so special to me now, because I was scared to death to do it, but I'm glad I did, because it's more special now. I hope that's more special. Yes, I think that's correct. Why is it you get something in your brain and then it sticks, and then you're like, is that right or is that wrong? But that's what I'm going through right now. Yeah, it just means so much more to me now that I made that journal. But I had to put the journal up. I told Mom, I was like, I've got to retire this thing because I'm wearing it out. But I might do a flip through of that one day. It is huge. It is like this thick. But it is definitely one of my prized possessions. Yeah, I love it. So, all right. So let's get to this. Okay, so the last project I worked on, I wanted to make some, if I can get it, I wanted to make some little, what is wrong with my brain? Fabric swatches. Is that what they're called? Oh Lord, I hope so. So I made a bunch of these little things. I think they're called fabric swatches. I don't know. One video I watched was I wrote it down. My Cottage Crafts. It was MI, so I'm assuming that my nails. My Cottage Crafts, I think. But anyway, she did hers a little different, and she put a hole. She used her hole punch. She put a hole at the top. She didn't do it like this either. She used her pinking shears and made this perfect square. Made it look perfect. You know, she cut her, you know, strings off. I mean, hers looks perfect. So if you want to check hers out, you know, go look at her video. I, however, did not do nothing like that. I used this pretty eyelet, I don't even know, trim, lace stuff. I don't know what you consider this, because it's not really, it's not trim, for one thing, Lisa. I guess it'd be, I don't know, do you consider it fabric, I guess? But anyway, I did a bunch of these, and I decided to lose the hole. And I just went and started getting a bunch of fabric out. For one, I decided to try one with a decorative paper. I thought that was pretty with just with this type of fabric. But you've got these cute little, you know, tuck spot or secretive writing spots. I don't know why I'm doing a video today. I can't even talk. And so you can tuck these in all your journals, and you can write here, you know, get these secret hiding spots for your journaling, and then of course you can write on the back. Oh, I just realized what I did not do with all of these. That's why they looked so funny. Okay, so I started off rounding the corners here and here. And then somewhere down the line, I got in a hurry and quit. That's why they look funny. So I'll probably go back and round these corners. So they started looking funny, and I couldn't figure out why I forgot to round my corners. But I liked the rounded corners better. And I started making some bigger ones. And I just took out, that's all floral fabrics. I love this one. Just getting, and this is all scraps, so it wasn't, and I made some skinny for smaller pockets. Now that one is not floral. That snuck in there on me. Oh, I did do a couple that way, that's right. Now this one right here is some of my vintage clothing. This is vintage, I don't even want to say that. This is some of my clothing from when I was a little girl. I did some washi in this. This is some of the washi that I did in my, which one was it? My oh, I don't have my, yes I do. Hold on, I'll tell you which collection it was. This one was Memory Lane right here. My very first washi, fabric washi collection. So that came out in Memory Lane. This one was Grandma's Flower Garden. Was it not? No, maybe it was not. It was supposed to go out in... This one was supposed to go out in Grandma's Flower Garden, and it did not. I didn't have enough of it. That's what it was. Okay, so this one came out. This one was my shirt. So yeah, my grandmother kept a lot of my clothing when I was a little girl. This one maybe was not. This was not mine. No, this one. So yeah, vintage. I'm not calling that vintage. I take that back. I take that back. So yeah, I just made a bunch of these. That's some upholstery fabric, and says this one. And I think that comes from Puerto Rico. There's another piece of that. So yeah, I just made a bunch of these up. Yeah, I just got in a big old hurry. And I forgot to round my corners. And then I made a couple big ones like this. And then I also made, two big ones like this. Because I had a couple pieces, and I loved this one, and I wanted to make this one from one of my journals that I've got coming up. So, yeah. So I'm going to show you how I made these. It's very easy, and I'm sure you can figure it out just by looking at it, but I will show you how I made these just in case you're wondering. And I do think that I would make some with lace. And if I make some with lace, I'm going to use my scrap. Of course, this is all used, or all made with scraps, I mean. I'm going to use my scrap designer cardstock because it won't be as plain. Like these, of course, are more plain. See how plain that is? With just like, you know, the cream and the ivory cardstock. So that's why I decided to get a piece out with the, of course you couldn't write on the back, but you could write underneath if it's plain. So yeah, I want to make some like that too. See how that turns out. So, I don't know why there's a hole. I don't know why she did the hole at the top. And I'm sure these are nowhere near correct, so, you know, don't judge me. I'm just making my version of them, and honestly, I just wanted something for my journals, so I'm not all trying to be correct about it, honestly. I just want whatever works for me in my journals, you know. Okay, so let me do one of these real quick. I cannot believe how long my video has gotten already. So you're just going to take and fold down your cardstock. No, am I in frame? Okay. You're just going to take and fold this down wherever you want it. Get your bone folder, whatever. That is so crooked. Let's try a different one over here. I cannot see. Okay. And then if you want, that went full. That is crooked too. So, it's okay. So I'm going to run out of time, and my phone's going to cut off on you guys. Bear with me here. I cannot see what I'm doing. Okay. I don't know why that's so crooked, but it is. It's not going to matter, and we'll cut it off. Let me go back to this one. This one might be better. I can always straighten it up. But we're going to, what I do is take my fabric and just go ahead and put it under there. Okay. And then I take like a paper clip. I can't find one at the moment. And decide where I want to cut it. And just cut it down and across. And then you can just go ahead and cut it up like that. And of course it's got to be trimmed because it was crooked. And sometimes this takes me a couple tries to get it trimmed up because I was crooked. But that's what you're doing right there. Okay. That's it. And then what I'd like to do, like I said before, is round my corners. I think I got like 10 seconds. I don't even know. Nope. We just passed 25, so I think I just missed it. I don't even know what I did. But anyway, I will always scoot my fabric over just a little bit like this. I mean, this is just me doing it. You guys do it however you want to. But I move mine over enough to where when I move it back, I have a little bit of on the edge of each side. Of course, this would have to be ironed so I can see a little bit on both sides. And I'm just doing that so I have a good straight line with my fabric. I'm shaky. I don't know if my sugar's low. Maybe that's why I'm having trouble talking. That might be because I'm like messing up, and maybe it's my sugar, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Oof. But anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and fiddle. But that's how you do it. You just make it like that, and then just sew it straight across. That's how I'm doing mine. Of course, like I said, it has to be ironed and all that. And just make a bunch of those up. You could sit and watch TV and make a bunch of these. And then you have them ready for your journals. So, yep, and it's all scraps. It's fabric scraps, and it's your cardstock scraps, and etc. So, we're using up our scraps. So, I hope this gives you some ideas of ways to use more of your scraps up, and I will be back hopefully with more ideas. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. I will see you soon. Bye.